On this episode of the Phinsh Line, it's myself and Richmond Webb. Ballgame should be joining us at some point, and we are going to discuss the Miami Dolphins taking on their AFC East rival New York Jets this week. Also, we got to have a serious conversation about something. Has a narrative been killed? Have the Miami Dolphins transformed into something offensively no one expected them to? We got to have that discussion. We're going to go in depth about it. But do me the favor, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, let's get into this.
All right, huddle up, huddle up. We're going to crank these engines up on one. All right? Wait, 80. Wait, 80, set. Drivers, start your engines.
This is the Phinsh Line.
I coached some great offensive linemen in the past. Larry Little, Dwight Stevenson, Jim Langer, all Hall of Famers, and Richmond Webb belongs to that same group.
Here are your hosts, legendary Miami Dolphins left tackle Richmond Webb, Reason, and Mr. Ballgame.
What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. It's me and Richmond to start this out. Sans Ballgame, as he's stuck in traffic, about to go Home Depot on the interstate right now. Hey, I hate traffic. Man, because he's been stuck in that. I mean, man, that's been almost an hour. And since he was supposed to be home, it's been an hour. So shout out to Ballgame. Hopefully he's listening to us on the way in, and hopefully we can at least make you laugh a little bit on your way home. Richmond, man, this is becoming a routine here. Look at this. We're getting together every time the Dolphins win now. They've now won, 4 out of the last 5. And, we'll talk about it, and I'll ask you your thoughts on it, but we'll start off with this. How you feeling? 5-7. Eking back to 500. Where are you at?
Hey, I'm along with everybody else. Man, it feels good to be a Dolphin. It's almost, to me, the fact that it had went so bad the first half of the season that you were like, okay, yeah, we won a game, then we win another one, and it's almost like you try not to believe too hard, but then when you watch the game on Sundays, it's a difference out there. They go out with a different swagger. The defense it don't seem like they get rattled, if a bad play happens or whatever. And it seems like they're having fun. Even McDaniel, the coaches and all that, it's something different. And the defense looks like what we thought they would, from the jump start of the season, kind of way they finished last year. And it's been fun to watch football again, especially, if you're a Dolphin fan, because I'm telling you, I had went to Charlotte and I was at the San Diego game, and I was actually at the Bills game. The Bills games, I was shocked, but, playing the Chargers and the Panthers, and then at the last minute losing both of those. And then, you try not to go back and say, man, if we would have, we would be 7-5 right now. So it's like I think about that, but I try not to think about that because we would be in just such much better, situation. But it is what it is. But I'm just happy and overjoyed. My man H.N. went over 1,000 yards, and I saw the thing in the locker room how everybody was really happy for him, this and that. And we've talked about it. He's probably MVP for this team, right? It's just. The play Minkah, man, it's things now we can talk about that we're making plays on both sides of football, and we had to wait half a season for that, but man, it feels good, and I'm happy, and I'm sure Ballgame is happy, especially he loves that defense and that secondary. So his man Minkah caught that that 2-point and took it back to the house. I'm like,
he's been fantastic, Minka, man.
oh man, it's just, man, we got to figure out a way to keep a core, a nucleus of those guys together because you got to keep certain guys. I know you got to pay certain guys, this and that, but you got to keep, because that's what kind of holds the locker room together. But yeah, it's been really good lately. I can't say that.
You know what's interesting too? Did you see his Instagram? What he put out? Achan, he said, "I ain't need no gender reveal. Moms knew I was him."
He dropping bars. Yeah. He was already world-class track. Now you 1,000-yard rusher. Now you want to be a rapper, man. No, come on now. Don't do us like that, brother. We on your team. So yeah, I like that. I might have to start using that.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. But let me ask you this: does it worry you how ugly the last 2 wins have been in terms of? It's not like they've been against good teams. You blew out a good team. Well, I don't want to say you blew out, but you put belt to ass on a good team in the Buffalo Bills. And since then, you've struggled to, hey man, a win is a win. I get all that. But it's 2 weeks in a row. And what's especially concerning is one of them is coming off a bye where you had a chance to adjust the struggles you had against the Commanders. And again, it looks like you struggled to cross the finish line once more against another weak team. Does that have you concerned at all?
Yeah, anybody. I mean, we're not going into the games with blinders on. We're doing some good things and we're winning the game, but it's some things, like you say, the last couple of games that, you look at it and say, when you kind of get teams up, you don't let them back in the game. And we kind of did that even with the Saints. And then, Minka did that, but then they was able to come down. And then the onside kick, that's what got me. I was like, man, I really got concerned then, because I was like, wait a minute, all he needs is a field goal or whatever. And, that's it. And I think what disturbs you is, you've worked that hard. You've let some things slide. And if you clean up some more things, some of these games won't even be close. So I always say it's easier to correct things after a win, but you don't want to keep making the same bad habits or mistakes. You want to see some improvement. Say, okay, yeah, 2 weeks ago we were doing this, but we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing things. So I would love to see them lock in a little bit more and stop giving teams an advantage or a way to get back into the game when you've basically taken out of them. And like we got the Jets this week, but you can't just look at them as the Jets, and you can only have so many opportunities against teams like the Saints or whatever, to where they're not as good a team. But when you face a good team, a lot of times they will expose you and say, okay, we ain't gonna let you get away with what you did with those other previous teams. So just holding out hope that they can correct this and keep it going and taking it one game at a time. But the way things are setting up, man, I don't think, I keep saying take it one game at a time, but we still 3 or 4 games behind, but this thing could get interesting in another couple of weeks if we keep winning football games. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the problem, eh? Like the teams ahead of you, like you're not catching any breaks, right? Like literally Justin Herbert breaks one of his hands, but it's his non-throwing hand. You know what I mean? And like the problem, like the Chargers, they're 3 games ahead of us. They're like, that's the thing. Like all these teams, since we were heading into the bye week at 4 wins and they were at 6 wins, all these teams have continued to win and now they're at 8 wins. You've got the Texans surging a little bit, right? Because they're playing really good ball, especially defensively, and it's paying off for them, right? So like nothing's kind of breaking your way with this situation too. Like that's what's very kind of disheartening about it is it's like I did the math and like without getting into every other team's win-loss, just us straight up from this point on, if we were to win out, no matter what other teams win and lose, just us winning straight out, we don't like, it's like a 14% chance to make the playoffs. It's down from 21% last week because everyone won. Now, if the Bills lose the basic way that it goes is like, if the Colts go 1-4 or worse down the last 5 games, if the Chargers go 1-4 or worse, or the Bills go 2 or 3 or worse, the Texans go 2 or 3 or worse, and the Chiefs go 3 or 2 or worse, if we win out, we've got a chance with all those scenarios of getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, and
we
that's
need a lot of help.
You need a lot of help, and you don't have room for error. I think that's the thing, that you can't afford to drop one. Even if all that happens, you gotta win every single game to even have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's why I was thinking, like, a couple of those games we dropped earlier on, if you win them, you know, you're right in the hunt, you're right in the thick of things. But you know, we didn't. You can't cry over spilled milk. Yeah. But you do.
The Chargers game, Richmond. Like, think about that.
That was
you lost that game. You had the missed field goal early on, but you lost that game. The defense didn't finish it off. If the defense was playing like how it is now, they would have finished. Yeah. They wouldn't have lost the Panthers game. They wouldn't have lost the Chargers game. But anyways, I digress. But you know what the problem was? Okay, now the Chargers, they're like 3. I think they're 3-1 or 3-0 against their division, right? So like they've got the divisional tiebreaker against you, and they've got the head-to-head tiebreaker against you.
Yeah.
So like that, and they're 3 games ahead of us. They've got 8 wins. We got 5.
Yeah, I think you just plan for pride every week, and if it happens by some wild chance, you know, you cherish the moment and you go on. But other than that, you're playing for pride and saying, "Hey, let's keep going 1 week at a time, and this year for real, let's carry this over to the next season, and let's not start like we've started the last couple of years, and get this thing right from the jump, and we'll be in much better position." I think that's the approach that we definitely got to take.
Yeah, the Chargers are 4-0 in their division. We are currently 2-2, but we got the Patriots and the Bills and the Jets left. Isn't it crazy? Like, Richmond, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. You know, you go back 2 years ago. Remember this time in 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the way up until week 17. Week 17, because it's 18 weeks now. So all the way up until week 17, 2 is in the talk for the MVP. Week 17, we're playing the Ravens, you know, in late December for the AFC crown, not the AFC East, but the AFC crown.
Right.
Lose that game, get blown out, right? Tyreek drop in the end zone, switches momentum, and get blown out. And then the next week, it's okay, playing for the AFC East crown against a surging Bills who started off really slow. They ended up squeaking out. Like, that's how close we were. Our quarterback was in the MVP talks. We were fighting for the AFC crown right until the very 11th hour. And now we're sitting here talking about 2 years later. We started the season 1-7, and the Patriots are currently 10-2, and they may be benching their starters when we face them in the final. No, they're 11-2, right? They may be benching their starters in the final week when we play them. That's we never, even in that 2023 when we thought we were close, Richmond, we weren't in the beginning of December saying, "Oh, we'll probably be benching starters by week 18," right?
No way. And I guess the bad part about bringing that up is you get rid of Brady, he goes to Tampa Bay. You know, they get rid of Belichick. They have a couple of bad years, and it was kind of dwindling down, you know, last couple of years with Belichick. And so you think, hey, it's there you go. Don't do that. Yeah, out there doing burnouts. Oh no, come on now. We're waiting on you. Come on, man. People want to hear from you. We've been waiting on you, bro. Come on.
Man, I had to take over that, man. These non-driving ass people, bro. Crazy, bro. This traffic,
I know,
man.
It's wild. Dude.
5-car pile up.
Bro.
Yeah, either way. Where we at?
It's on you, brother. Come on, get it.
So basically we're talking about, I was saying to him, isn't it wild how 2 years ago in this time, right? In December, right? We were about to clinch the playoffs. We had clinched we were about to clinch the playoff spot against, in a couple of weeks, we would have clinched against Dallas. And then in week 17, we were playing for the AFC crown, and our quarterback was in the MVP conversation. And then Tyreek drops the ball, swings momentum. We get blown out by Baltimore. And then in the final week, we're playing for the AFC East crown, And we all thought we were so close and we were there. Fast forward 2 years later, we start off 1-7. We're looking for all these different scenarios to get into the playoffs. And one of them includes final week of the season. Patriots are probably already thinking about benching their starters because they're 11-2 right now. Like, we never even got to that level, even when we thought we were close to winning the division and dethroning the Bills, of talking about benching our starters at the beginning of December.
People gonna hate me for this, but them damn Patriots look like I thought we was gonna look. And I like them. They don't take many chances.
They got the coach right.
Yeah, the defense is physical.
And he put his ego aside and said, "Go get me Josh McDaniels to get Drake May right." And look at how it's worked out.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy.
Now, I think McDaniels getting it. And he's doing great things offensively, like the sixth offensive line package. He's figuring out his. I think you're seeing the offensive mind start to come to the forefront, but I still think he's behind the curve in terms of as a head coach and an overseer of everything and play caller, right?
Well, I think the benefit of Vrabel is that he went somewhere and then wasn't as successful, so he has an opportunity to fix the wrongs from the previous stint in Tennessee, and now he can go forward with guys who had nothing to lose. He went out and really brought in too a lot of guys that are no-name guys that have a chip on their shoulder, want to still prove that they belong in the league.
Yeah,
he can relate to those guys because and they believe in him. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I was hoping that Mike would do: just come in, focus on the coaching thing for a bit. You know what I mean? Let these guys get to know you. Let them know that you got, they got your back, you got their back. Worry about, finessing the referees on Sunday, doing all that stuff, and give all the other stuff over to somebody else that's a little more seasoned in it. And then you can, you still have, you have control. You just don't have direct control, but you still get all the credit.
Who is this paralleling? I'm gonna tell you this. I'll give you a guess. Who is it? What head coach is this parallel of in the last 25 years? But the difference between him and Vrabel is he was an offensive coach.
For us?
No. Think about a coach who was like Vrabel, finding playoff success but couldn't get over the hump. Like you said, got a second chance, identified all of his problems, got a young quarterback. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
Think about it, though. Bill did it, too, though. Bill did it when he was in Cleveland. Belichick, he did it when he was in Cleveland. He didn't have a lot of success there, and then went to New England and then was able to kind of move on from by luck. Move on from.
Isn't that what we're worried, Mike? Isn't that what we're all worried Mike McDaniel could turn into if we fire him?
Yeah,
he's gonna get head coaching interviews and he's gonna be the top sought offensive coordinator on the open market if he gets fired. That I'm telling you, that's something that's scaring Ross. That's another reason why Ross, and you've heard people report on it. Ross is being told by people next to him that McDaniel is the best second chance coach out there, probably. Don't let him go. Just stick it through.
But I've said from the beginning, though, man, my only frustration with him is that he was just trying to do and handle too much. You have guys around you that have NFL experience. They know what they're doing. They're in the league for a reason. Lean on them.
Yeah.
But the one thing that your job is going to always fall back on, and you got to always get a really good grade in, is being the leader of these men, right? The X's and O's and all that stuff. You got coordinators that are well known. You can trust them to do that piece, but you got to be able to take those 53, and convince them that it's okay for them to run into this wall over and over again until you bust through that wall together. He has to own that piece. Otherwise, they'll have some success, but you won't have the level of success that's necessary because everybody got to be bought in, all 53. And they got to believe that he's going to be willing to ride for them just as much as they're willing to ride for him. You see, I saw him and Weaver on Sunday do the whole, hug each other and do the high five and that type of thing. That's good too. But in the same sense, somebody else should be calling them plays so Mike can focus on just being the coach.
But can I say this? This is what one of the most frustrating things about watching the game on Sunday was, and this is actually where I was heading with you, Richmond, when we were taking that trip down 2023 lane. This is where I was heading with you. It feels like McDaniel's starting to figure it out. And it feels like you look at last game, right? Richmond, the throw we were talking about backstage, the interception to Waddle. I'll add on the missed angle route to Achan where he's wide open, and that was a walking touchdown. I'll add in was it a bad throw? What should he got both hands on it? Should Julian Hill maybe have caught that? Okay, sure. But the placement was bad. The throw was bad. And Julian Hill has never been that type of guy that's going to bail out a bad throw. So what are you expecting this guy to turn into, Darren Waller? So my point is, it looked like, can I be honest with you guys? It looked like Tua was holding back McDaniel on Sunday. Like and you know where I've stood. I thought McDaniel should have been fired when we were 1-6 last year, or 2-6 or whatever. Like him and Greer should have been gone. For the first time, I really felt, oh my God, McDaniel's calling a good game. He's got a good game plan. We should have scored. Think about this. Richmond, the interception where we got that ball. Well, you should have came away with minimum 3, maximum 7. The missed throw to Achan, that's another 7, right? Yeah. Then you look at the Julian Hill could have continued to drive. We should have scored over 31 points on. We should have had over 31 points.
Yeah,
and McDaniel did what he had. You were going to score over 31 points on a bad team. And
they made that game extremely more difficult than it had to be.
And our defense has turned the corner and is looking like what we wanted it to be in the beginning of the year. And the run game is the best we've had since arguably Ricky was here, or Jay Ajayi's final season with Tannehill, that magical season, 2016 or whatever. And Tua ain't got the excuse of, well, you need to get a run game, because you got the run game. And it, for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, Tua's holding back Mike McDaniel. Like wow. Now, I one thing to say, Tua's holding the offense back, but I'm like, yo, McDaniel's calling a good game. Tua's just not executing.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, because head coach, offense coordinator, whatever you want to call it, if he's calling a good game, but if your quarterback can't either deliver the throws or keep everything going, he's got to try to figure out a way to dial it back to still try to get you plays in there to still be successful to win the game. So now you got to adjust what you really want to play to try to, help him out and this and that. And, I think that's the thing. Like when we were talking backstage about the throw when he threw in the double coverage, I'm like, don't force that, because you're not that far out of field goal position. You can get points out of this. And it was the defense had just got a turnover. So I'm like, you want to capitalize on that, because that's what gives you the momentum to keep going. But yeah, that's a different perspective you brought up there, and you possibly right, but no, everybody will just either blame McDaniel or Tua or whatever. But if he's calling a good game, and because you want to set up a rhythm and this and that, and I think the running game is really setting up really the passing game, because if they start focusing on that, it's going to create opportunities.
And Richmond, you played with Marino, you played with Shula. You know the trust between a coach and a quarterback like that. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me, guys. Did you notice on that final drive of the first half when we settled for the field goal, how they let over 20 seconds just roll off the clock? It really came off like McDaniel didn't trust to put the ball into his hand and get aggressive. Remember, they were even asking him after the game, why didn't you get aggressive there? Why all of a sudden did you slow down? And it really felt like, because of the Waddle interception, Richmond, he's like, man, this guy's not even making good decisions right now. I'm not letting points slip away.
Yeah, that's an executive. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. The only thing I was going to say was, you're right. And or you got 20 seconds left. You don't want to have a turnover, and then it turns into the other team scoring a field goal or touchdown. You'd be like, now everybody's mad at you saying you didn't have to be that aggressive. But that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Ballgame.
Yeah, I think there's a real shift right now in that relationship happening. And I think it's unfortunate that it's happening, because the kid had things around him that were keeping him. Yeah, I had people around him too that were keeping him regimented, keeping him on his, on the things that make Tua. You can see, and I think this is an unfortunate slide that he's going to have to address as a professional and figure out, or come down and sit down to the table with somebody and just say, listen, I know y'all don't like my guy, but he had me playing the best I could ever play, and I need it back, right? Nick, and he just got you got if this team is going to achieve any level of success moving forward with Tua as a quarterback, They've got to get back to the things that made him, without a
That
shadow
got
of
him a
a doubt, the guy
$212 million contract.
Yeah, you got to do it. You have to do it.
Like,
And
boys, imagine if we had the 2023 version of Tua with this run game where McDaniel's at and this defense, how it's playing right now.
Yeah, it'd be different.
We wouldn't have started 1-7. Ain't no way. Ain't no way we would have started. We would have finished off, even with the defense playing bad, we would have finished off the Chargers. We wouldn't have blown that 17-point lead to the Panthers. Now, if the defense was playing good, we would have won those games either way. But my point is, even Tua that returned from the concussion last year, when he threw for 1,642 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 1 pick, and had a 77 completion percentage.
That guy,
first
that
6
version
games
of him
back.
was better than this version right now.
But that's because he was at least working with 3D QB last offseason.
Yes.
He might not have been with Perform, but he's with 3D QB. Now he's with neither, and look at the results you're getting.
Yeah, you can't do it by yourself. No man's an island, especially as a quarterback who's still working through some of the nuances of some of the bad habits that he picked up after trying to overcompensate early on.
Yeah.
And you got those worked out, and now you're going back to watching him do the exact same things again. Like, he's not setting his feet. He's on the balls of his feet instead of planting. You know what I'm saying? He's not driving. He's not no drive on the ball, throwing off his back foot. All things that attribute themselves to sloppy and lazy mechanics.
That Nick Hicks would have never let happen.
Never happened.
Training.
Yeah, never.
So. And that's what me and Richmond were talking about. Like, you signed this man to a $212 million deal. How are you not saying go back there? We don't care. Don't matter what we think about him as an organization. He's one of the reasons why we paid you that money. You know what I mean? Like, but like I said to Richmond, go back to when they made Tua the starter and they pulled in Flores and they left Changaly out, meddling. Go back to when they hired McDaniel. You got to keep Crossman. You got to keep Boyer. You got to keep Tua. You got to keep Eichenberg, Jackson, meddling. Now here we are again, meddling. You know what I mean? Like, you're an insurance liability. We want to oversee. We want to approve everything. You know?
Boy, looked kind of good Sunday, though. Oh, Austin Jackson, he looked pretty decent.
I thought he looked better in the run game than he did
in the run game.
Bro.
Yeah, definitely in the run game.
In pass, bro.
Yeah. I like the physicality. I like the fact that he was committed to the physicality.
Where are the Jonah haters, bro?
Yeah, they gone, bro.
Yo, is anyone? Hold on. Is anyone? Yo, hold on. Listen. That kid's
playing phenomenal right now, bro.
Where are they? Where are the Jonah haters?
He's playing out of his mind right now. I gave some credit last week, bro, to Phillips. I also got to mention Zeke Biggers, bro. Like, these
I was gonna
kids.
say, we're the Kenneth Grant haters too, bro.
Yeah, these kids up front, bro.
Where are they?
These dudes are once Weaver decided to get these dudes back into these gaps, bro. These kids are game changing, man. They are growing up.
Chris Greer is, like I said before, he deserves more credit than people want to give him to. Yeah, he's gone, and they're undefeated since he left. But some of these free agents, like Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas, with that big pick, we won the Minka trade. I don't care what anyone wants to tell me. He's back to all-pro form now that they got him playing in the slot more.
He played dude so bad on that damn interception though, man. That's a
and the rookies are turning the corner, like man.
Yeah, he hit him. He hit him with the slingshot. I'm gonna get in his pocket, and as soon as I see him release it, I'm gonna shoot around him and take it from him.
Yeah,
out of there, gone. 2 points.
Gone.
Yeah,
bro, he's
slow.
A stud, man.
Yeah, man.
You got to bring him back, dude. You got to find a way to get him new money and bring him back. Yeah. Get rid of that Chubb contract because it's over $30 million cap it. Get rid of that somehow, restructure it, and you got to get money to Minka, man. You know, and Jonah's that, and I'm telling you, Jonah's turning. I said, this weekend, I said, listen, we got a small sample size, and everyone was worried about Patrick Paul, me included. Now look at Patrick Paul in year 2.
Yeah.
Who's going to be more ahead in year 2 when they start? Jonah Savaiinaea or Patrick Paul? Jonah Savaiinaea. Yeah. So, and he's starting to turn that corner, right? Like Robert Thompson in my chat said on the weekend, usually guys come out hot and then they hit that rookie wall, right?
So what do we do?
We're reverse. We come out hitting the wall and then they get hot. Chopped it last year. These guys are doing it. And guys, Phillips has all of a sudden gone quiet in Philadelphia while our defense is dialing it up a little bit since Phillips got traded out.
They got worked by Detroit, bro. They got worked. They couldn't stop the run and save their life. Both of them running backs had $1.20 something on equal amount of carries. They equally distributed the rock to him, and both of them got off on him for over 256 yards, man. They couldn't stop the run. Fangio couldn't stop the run and save his life. And lo and behold, there are flaws in the Eagles. Yeah. They ran right at him, too. That's the cold part about it. They ran right at him, bro.
We start stopping the run, and they start not being able to stop the run.
They ran right at him all game. They tried to hide him, and they just you can see Goff at the line of scrimmage, bro. Just Caleb at the line of scrimmage. He just looked, went and recognized him, and flipped the play, bro. Flipped the play at the line and ran. They tried to move Jalen from left side to right side. They tried to move it. They just ran at him, bro.
Yeah. And listen,
oh man,
they ain't got a Jordyn Brooks to scrape behind that defensive line too. That guy's playing out of his mind.
That guy's playing phenomenal right now, man. Ugh.
All I gotta say is this, because you've been with me since day one ball game. You know how big of a Jerome Baker hater I was. And I'm like, this is not a real Mike. This is not. Yeah. Wait till and then we got Jordyn Brooks, and I told everyone, just wait. Now you're going to see what a real linebacker about. And where is Jerome Baker right now? Is he on the side of a milk carton? I don't even know where he's playing right now.
Where is Cleveland.
Is he?
In Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, because he left Seattle. He didn't make the whole full season.
Make the whole season up there.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but people got to remember, man, Jordyn Brooks is one of the reasons why the Seattle decided to walk away from Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
He put Bobby Wagner out of a job in Seattle. So
yeah, man.
And then when he got hurt,
and he was a first-round pick too. Was he picked in the 20s?
20s. Yeah, he was. I think he was like 22nd, 23rd. But then him falling to us, I was like, oh my God, okay, this guy, we can come back healthy. Yeah.
Just stud. There's a film guy that covers the Seahawks that I follow on Twitter. Buddy, he was heartbroken when we got Jordyn Brooks, because that was like one of his favorite defensive players, because every week he'd break down Jordyn Brooks film and like show the crazy athleticism, the instincts, all that kind of jazz.
He's prototypical what you want from your Mike linebacker for this era of football.
I just wish he'd want to take on the responsibility of the green dot. That's Tyrell. Because then that makes Tyrell more expendable.
Yeah, but he also gets a lot more flexibility not having to worry about that too. Free thought is what you need, bro, to be able to be your best out there. So if I don't have to worry about all that alignment and assignment shit, and I can just play my position and just be the best. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's
linebacker since Kiko, eh? Probably.
Yeah.
We've had.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah.
Every time I think of Kiko, I just picture him hitting Flacco. Remember that? Remember when that was Flacco, wasn't it? When Flacco scrambled and he lit him up. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was Flacco, wasn't it?
He laid him out.
Let me know, chat. I'm pretty sure that was
he caught
Flacco.
A couple though. He caught a couple bodies though.
But remember, Flacco lost his helmet.
Yeah.
Remember, and he's sitting up, and he looked like the Undertaker when he rides from the dead. His eyes rolling back in his head. Oh my God, Kiko was the man. I loved it. Eh? Even dude, I got two. I got the white and I got the aqua. One of my favorite players. I know he's only here for a couple of years, but he won Comeback Player of the Year. Joey Porter. Remember how good Joey was with us for a couple of years, man? Yeah, I loved him, man.
He was a dog. For sure.
And we just had coaching staffs that were afraid of dogs at that time, bro.
We had just come off of. Well, we had through a bunch of. Man, we've been through so much. Like, I don't understand how you get in trouble for bullying in football. Or telling somebody they too soft for the game, bro. And riding them about the fact that you need them to be tougher. Like, come on, man. I never understood. That's when I realized societally things were changing too. That I can't walk up to you at your locker room. I can't walk up to you in the locker room and tell you to get your S together. Like, I need you to play better. I need you to be tougher. I need you to not be soft as baby poop. And then you can go run and tell somebody, and then they report it, and now I get in trouble and I get suspended because incognito wasn't wrong.
Well, not even. Wasn't the Christian Wilkins thing felt like something like that? Remember they went to HR about something? Yeah, it felt like maybe he was doing a little bit of hazing or something like that, and that wasn't going down in the locker room.
Hell, I think I'm gonna be honest with you, old school or not.
This guy's gonna. You better not come out here. You're about to.
What? So a little hazing is necessary.
Oh, I thought you were gonna call him a fruit booty or something like that.
No, you go that route with it. But I think, listen, I think some people have to go through it, man. people don't know. A lot of times, sometimes cats, you know what I'm saying, they don't ever face no levels. Well, I'm just saying they don't ever face no real levels of adversity. Because you got to think, a lot of these guys, right? A lot of these guys have been at most points the best athletes in their spaces.
Yeah,
but then when they hit a wall where they're not, and you shying away from contact or you shying away from the adversity that you facing, you hanging out the man next door to you. You know what I mean? And everybody up front, especially offense in the trenches, everybody got to be on the same page. It's our job on offense to destroy them, and on defense, we want them to know that we own them. You feel me? And if that ain't your mindset, you can get somebody hurt.
Yeah.
He hurt my feelings. He called me soft, man. Please, man. Yeah. I'm glad Jordyn Brooks is on this team, though, because you can tell these guys run. They rally to the tackles, too. They rally to run. They always looking around. You know, there's some check-in. They checking in with him and Minka. They're looking to see where they are at all times to make sure that they did what they were supposed to do. You know, and I seen Minka a couple times give dudes. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing it. You know what I mean? But that's what you need from your veterans.
Yeah.
I'm just, and I just wish they had done it a lot sooner.
Just hold people accountable, right?
Hold people accountable, man. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this because you kind of, you're talking about like the soft narrative, and that soft narrative, that finesse narrative has kind of been around this team for the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
And, have the Miami Dolphins made a transformation that no one really expected or saw coming? Are all of a sudden we one of the more physical teams right now? Because, that's how we're winning. We're winning physically on defense right now. We're winning with a physical run game. Like, it's not all outside zone off the hip of tackle stuff. We're running inside with a 5'9" quarterback and making things happen. Like we're throwing out a 6 offensive lineman to try and punch you in the mouth and move bodies. Now, we're still having some issues pop up in terms of short yardage situations. Half of that is on Ollie Gordon dancing east-west instead of going north-south.
Just go north. Yeah.
This guy does a toe tap before, does his best Shirley Temple routine before he actually hits the hole. So, it's ridiculous. So, what do you guys think? Like, we're all of a sudden a physical team, and gentlemen, the Bills made this switch to James Cook. The Kansas City Chiefs made this switch to Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, etc., trying to become more physical, right? They've always been physical on the defensive side of the ball with Chris Jones and etc. Are we seeing the early seeds of maybe that transformation long term because it's working for McDaniel and he's figuring it out?
I'll take it first. I think so. And the reason I think it was either beginning this year, maybe last year, but you and Ballgame kind of mentioned that before, how the offensive schemes are changing to where we're getting back to running the football. Not only just the Dolphins, but even the other teams. You look at Detroit, you look at even the Eagles. It's going more to run. Yeah, we still throw the football and stuff, but the game is kind of changing back to like when I first got in the league. That's all it was smash mouth football and getting back to that. But I've been really impressed by the way, like you say, HN is 5'9", for him to be that small back, and he can run in between the tackles outside, catch the ball, screens. He's an every down back, and typically you see a guy that size typically not going to be that effective or play on all 3 downs. But I'm loving it. And then, like you said, the defense is just hitting you in the mouth and just say, hey, even if we don't, we're gonna hit you in the mouth and see who gonna be left standing. And it's definitely a change, but even with the change, you can see the results that we're starting to get and buy into it. So the running game has definitely been a blessing to us because, like you said, when Tua struggles or whatever, it still allows us an opportunity to move the chains and keep everything going and maybe dial it back into where, McDaniel can call certain plays to try to put him in the best position to, throw the football in certain instances to keep the chains moving. But you can definitely see a difference. We're way more physical than when we started out the first half of the season. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think across the board, bro, there's a certain, I said it from the beginning, that your commitment to running the ball lets your opponent know how willing you are to be physical. The narrative in terms of soft now associated with this group, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the shelf, because when you go through the process of consistently running the ball, even in downs where we would normally before have passed the ball, we were handing the ball off to the running backs. Yeah, that's a different level of mentality, and I like it. I like it because everybody's not going to be willing to match you in that arena, especially when, saying there's not a lot of physicality in practices anymore. So when you show up on Sundays willing to hand the ball off 22, 23 times a game, that says a lot about where your mindset is. It doesn't say anything about the ability of your players. It just says that you're committed to playing the physical. You're embracing the physicality of this, and I think that's something that we need to stick with, even after this season, going to next season. It doesn't matter to me the size of the guy. It matters to me how big his heart is, and I don't think there's a running back in the league with a heart bigger than A-Chain, man. No hole is too small. No task is too big, and they don't have a middle linebacker willing to engage him every down, because then you see guys, as they start to get wore down, trying to side, even him, they trying to tackle him from the side and all these type of things, and I'm okay with it. I think that's what Mike needs. Mike needs a structural piece for him to build his identity of what this offense is going to look like upon. And if it can be the run game, then okay, let's get back to the basics of what it really means to be a smash mouth, play action based football team. And I think that fits Tua's. If that really fits all of the skill sets that Tua brings to the forefront anyway. That's one of the primary reasons why, he's highly regarded as one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the game, because he can put the ball in those spaces, that a lot of other quarterbacks can't. You don't need a lot of arm strength. I think he has perfect arm talent for the NFL, but at the same time, his decision making in those instances where he's got the run game going, it opens up those alleys to allow them to do things. But the physicality, it all starts up front, and the fact that they've committed to it, I think yes, that's why they're having this success they're having now. And this late in the season, as you start to get further and further, teams start to try to the teams that are accustomed to it, they embrace it. The ones that aren't, they shy away from it. They try to figure out other ways to go about the thing. What did I just say?
Hate to say it because I love Tyreek, but best thing was having him out of the lineup to force the offense to evolve.
We said that though, right? Think about it. If you got a guy, right, he comes in and in practice your quarterback throw 50 passes and 40 of them go to one receiver, you give him straps to the other guys that at some point, unfortunately, if something happens, and look at what happened to us. He took the lion's share of most of the reps, and then at this point now, we got guys, we got to figure out what we have left. When you had a guy, prior to Tyreek even coming here, who was catching 100-plus balls a year, 1,000-yard receiver. He was the number one. And then you relegate him to the Batman, you relegate him to the Robin role, but you forgot about him. When you have two alphas out there that you could effectively be able to dictate the terms, like Dallas does now. You see how they use Lamb and how they use Pickens?
Yeah.
That's what we should have been. You can't double both of them dudes. And you have to take with Slow Ferguson in the middle. He eating too. Because you got two vets out there, and instead
so
of
Javonte Williams,
Javonte Williams, exactly. That's what we were supposed to look like, bro. But I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah, I'm all about punching you in the mouth over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you spitting up blood, and I want to see you with your hands on your hips and your hands on your knees, breathing heavy, trying to figure out how you're gonna stop. Yeah, and we're gonna look at you, smile, and say, "Here we come again."
Hey, Ballgame.
Yes, sir.
He was claimed by the Buffalo Bills, but if you're really trying to make a push to the playoffs, why wouldn't you go claim Darius Slay with all the injuries at corner this year? Because they probably think Rasul, Jack, and those guys are working.
Yeah, I think those guys have effectively built a level of chemistry between them and established some trust to the point that they believe in each other. And you infuse a personality like Slay into the process, that could essentially disrupt a little of that. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Pittsburgh went ahead and got off of him. You feel me? And I would do a deep dive to make sure, even if they even considered it, hey man, do all your due diligence to ensure and see what this guy's head's at, because if he's really still capable of playing the game at a high level, well, why did they let him go? those are always the questions that come up in my mind when you got a player who's had a really good career and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he's hopping from place to place. Is he an individual now? Is he really about team ball? Is he going to fit in with what we're really trying to establish here? You only need so many veterans because you don't have opportunities taken away from younger guys to develop too if you bring in too many. You feel me? And game reps matter more than anything else to the younger players. So as long as they can get quality game reps and you got somebody back there to be able to tie them in and hold them together, you can still do things without bringing in that extra, tumultuous force, that maybe a Slay would bring because he ain't going to come cheap. And at the same time, I'm going to go back to why Pittsburgh let him go then because you had Ramsey, you had Porter, you had Slay, you had all these guys over there that should have had
that great.
There.
Yeah, he hasn't been that great.
Well, then, yeah, no, we're not doing that then. Because like Jack Jones has his moments. I don't like the fact that he stopped his feet on Sunday because he got dead in the water thinking that the kid wasn't going to make the throw, and then he stopped his feet, and the receiver kept moving behind him, so he got out of phase with the receiver. But that's rule number one as a cornerback. You never stop your feet. You stop your feet, you're dead in the water, especially when the receiver is moving away from you. If you can't touch him, you're a liability to the play. And he couldn't touch him, and the kid just kept extending himself to the back of the end zone and made a hell of a catch for the touchdown. And that's all on Jack Jones because he got lazy. He didn't continue to follow through. So, no, I need him to fix that. And you bring in a Slay, it might not happen because then they'll probably try to throw Slay out there on the opposite side of Rasul. And then, now Jack Jones for whatever is not getting the reps. Now you got dissension in the ranks. So, we can stay where we got. We good.
All right, so we got the Jets this week, last time facing them. Obviously, we all remember we beat them 27-21 in our fancy new rivalry jerseys for the first win of the season in week 4. Now we are facing them coming off winning 4 of our last 5, 3 in a row. In New York, the weather, where I am right now, it's cold, it's nasty outside, it's not fun. And listen, right now we're heading into Tua Tagovailoa. Right now he leads the NFL with 14 interceptions, but guess what? The Jets defense, they don't have a single interception on the season yet, knock on wood. The Dolphins, their offense ranks 3rd in the NFL in rush yards per game. They're averaging 151.6 since week 8 when they beat Atlanta. The defense, since week 8, they are allowing a league-leading only 16.2 points per game to opposing offenses. And since week 10, the Dolphins lead the league in points allowed per game. It's actually 14.3. And they're tied for 2nd in red zone efficiency at 33.3%, only allowing 2 touchdowns on 6 red zone visits. That's only 2nd to Baltimore. Gentlemen, where are you at with this game? We'll start with you, Richmond. Where are you at? How do you think this goes down score prediction wise? And do you think this is another game where defense and a rushing attack is what's going to help us cross the finish line?
Yeah, I think the defense is going to continue to set the tone. I don't see a reason why they're going to, dial back or regress. Offensively, I think we should be able to run the ball on the Jets. I think McDaniel will come up with a good game plan, good scheme, this and that. And then, like you said, we can get to it or just dial in a little bit more and just make better decisions. It's not all game. It seems like at critical times or different times of game when sometimes you should just throw it away or get rid of the ball. He'll do something that you always question and say, why did he do that? But just process it a little bit better and make better decisions with the football. I think that'll definitely play in our favor. For me, I think this is a winnable game for me. I will say Dolphins 27-14 or 13 winning against the Jets.
Where are you at, Ballgame?
Yeah, my only concern is who's the starting quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor.
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're in a better position to win with him than they were with Justin Fields in week 4.
Fields for sure. Tyrod, his experience kind of makes things a little bit of a toss up for you, but
and he's had success against us in the past.
Yeah, that always comes to the forefront for me when facing that guy. But with no Quentin Williams in the middle of the defense, no Sauce Gardner anymore, I just don't think that the Jets are equipped right now to deal with this running attack that we have. Quentin Williams is a monster, man. That's the reason why Jerry said, I'd rather give up Parsons and then go get me somebody that can stop the run. And Dallas been stopping the run like nobody's business since they made that trade too. So I would like to think that this will be a game that we could showcase a lot more of the abilities of the other players. I'm still a fan now, becoming a huge fan of Greg Dolchich. I think that they need to give him more reps.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to find ways.
Lost Rucci this week to the Lions.
Yeah, I saw that, but I hadn't seen much of him anyway, so that's fine. Dolchich, he will make catches that I think nobody really thought he could. He did that again. He did that on Sunday as well. Keep a drive going for us, and I don't know, man. I just don't really have a lot of faith that the Jets have it together enough to be able to effectively match the energy that we have currently right now and willing to put on the field for 4 quarters. So I would say I'm gonna go 24-10 because I think that's a manageable range for this group of stars on the offensive side of the ball. Tyree was with us. Obviously, it'll be a little more, but I think they're capable of putting up 24, and the defense, the way they're playing, should be able to hold the Jets to 10 points. I saw a lot of mistakes that previous, like last week when the Jets won, that the teams made that I don't think we'll make. So those opportunities won't be there for them, and I just feel like we're a better team than them overall. So,
yeah, the Dolphins are 1-4 on the road this year.
Yeah, they got to break that at some point.
It's also expected to be 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to feel like 28 degrees Fahrenheit.
So many things to push through to get yourselves mentally and physically prepared for what's coming down the pipeline. Get to remove all the narratives about who you are. Can't play in the cold weather.
Let me tell you this, okay? All right. Tua Tagovailoa, he's 0 for 7 in his career. When temperatures are 46 degrees or colder at kickoff, he's 1-8 when it's 50 degrees or colder.
This is the first time for everything.
He's won in late November twice against the Jets in MetLife, and obviously he's 6-0 against the Jets, right? But hey, we saw his winning streak against the Patriots go out the window this year, so yeah, you're gonna have to run the ball, man.
Mind over matter. Yeah. That's how you get through playing in the cold.
Could have swore we were just talking about him potential mental regression on his side. So
no, I'm talking about them committing to the run game.
Oh yeah,
and just saying, you know what, 3 running backs we got are capable. Let's hand it off as much as possible and just beat these dudes down.
Yeah.
Because once you got them reeling, it's cold for everybody. But once you get momentum going, they don't want to get hit just as much as you don't want to get hit. But when you get warm and you get going, it's different then. You know what I mean? And all the offensive line just need a kickstart. Once they get the kickstart, cold weather don't matter no more. Which will tell you that. Once you get moving, the cold weather goes away. When you're out there, unless you take the helmet to the wrong area of the sideline.
You know what
I mean? You got to go stand over there. You know what I mean? And that's different. But when you're in the midst of it, it don't matter, man. You forget about that wind. You know, especially
you know what a smart team would do? Turn those blue medical tents into like warmth tents and have your units that aren't on the field go in there and just sit there till they got to go back out there. Have little TVs set up in there so they can see what's happening on the field. That's what would be smart.
They ain't gonna come out of there. You making it wait.
We have a problem with personnel getting out on the field on time now. Dude.
Guys reading the newspaper, eating hot dogs and popcorn. Just chilling, man. Feet up. They got HBO on. The game's off.
Let's do it on the PS5.
Oh,
Flat
God.
screen TVs on the
Yeah.
sidelines. We'll be watching the game, and they're playing video games and shit.
Oh man.
Is it us? Oh, my bad. Yeah.
All right. And hey, college football playoffs are almost upon us. Hurricane fans are feeling quite the way of being left out so far. So
They didn't deserve it. Virginia was
anyway.
better. Fuck 'em. Virginia was better.
All right, guys,
That's what they
smash that like button. Over 200 of you in the chat. Let's get over 150 likes on this video. Smash that like button. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. I want to shout out the sponsor of today's video. That, of course, is Sleeper. If you think you know football, then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. Pick from the predicted stats. You can win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code PHINS. You get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And if you use my code right now, you will get a free $20 deposited. Guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Fins up. Have a great evening.